Okay, hello. As you can see, we've got a nice mess in front of me here. Not really one for presentation, unfortunately, but finally I have my hands on the GJ Locks 7-lever pin and cam. Now, straight away as I pick this out of the box, it's weighty, it feels quality made, and it is. I've used it throughout these locks now, and it's successfully opened them all. There is a couple of hang-ups for me about the tool, but not a deal breaker, should I say. Many of you're going to wonder, is it worth it? It's over £300 currently, and there are a few good reasons why this might be a good tool for you, but for some people's cases, maybe it's not going to be so useful. For me, I love having a new tool, and especially one that's quality and works, which is exactly what this does. It does what it's meant to do, and there's no hiccups, there's no little problems that are out of your control of why it might not work with some other picks. So try and keep it brief here, because there's a few things I've been picking and videoing as I've been going, and so there's a couple of things worth noting about the tool. I would say if you are a competent picker of these type of locks with the 2-in-1, with like an RB 2-in-1 style thing, it's probably not something you need. However, you always get that one lock that trips you up. It's just being a right sod. When this goes into the lock, it will take 5 to 10 times longer than hand picking the lock open. But when you get that problem lock, you switch to this, it will definitely get the lock open at the end. That's a surefire thing. You will get the lock open with this. With the hand picks, you might obviously just have the struggle. So it's worth it for that to me. And again, just great fun to play with this sort of tool, be it on the bench or on the job. So the tool itself, what's it going to open and work? Well, it's advertised for the Warra Fletchers, the Warra Ace type lock, and the CT12 and its variants, I guess. There's some others as well. It's not meant for it, but it will pick if the spacing on the levers are the same. So the first lock to address, the one that the nice little sheet print out here tells you is the first one, the easiest one perhaps to be practicing on, would be the Warra Fletcher 2802. Very common lock, less so in gun cabinets. You're not seeing too many in gun cabinets. You might see the copy of these in the gun cabinets, which I'm sure the pick is going to work as well. The only issue we have with that is key retaining locks. It's an issue at the moment. I can see there's a bit of foam here which is yet to be occupied. I'm wondering if you're going to get some makeup keys for these locks in here. Because if you get yourself a key retaining lock on a gun cabinet, you need 2 different key to differ locks on a gun cabinet. It'll always be keyed to differ. Now, if you get your pick turned and it's key retaining, you can't get your pick out to then pick the one below. And you will then have to pick this lock back closed again just to get your pick out. But when you do get your pick out, you're still left with the predicament you first started in of the safe is not open. So that's something to think about. With a makeup key, perhaps if after you've picked it, these locks only have 4 heights in them, you might be able to decipher your pin and cam, because again, this does not create a key, it's only a pick, so you can't cut a key from this or even work out the key, I suppose. But the other issue I have with this lock is GJ also sells this tool, which is the Warra Fletcher 2802, so lock specific jiggler. This tool will have this lock open in 2 minutes, if that. You need to take a plasticine reed key. These newer locks will give you 3 marks on the plasticine key, and there's only 4 heights in the lock, so already that's covered all 4 heights, and you could pretty much make the key. I do Warra Fletcher space and depth keys for that, so after a plasticine reed I could go off and cut the key, in fact, and then deal with the bottom lock as well. But again, that's less than half the cost, and it's much more efficient and effective at opening these locks. So straight away, that's definitely not my first choice. Might be my third choice for opening this lock. The Warra Ace, yes, okay, this is a very common one. It's a cheap lock. You'll find it in all like the Bratton Sound gun cabinets and stuff like that. The newer model, Warra Ace, the older one, or just a different model, has a much tighter keyhole there, and that pick's not going to fit in it. Even your 2-in-1s won't fit. You might have to ream it out first before you begin, but then there's spacers and all that sort of thing, so I'm not too sure if it's going to work that either. But again, great, it does the job. If you've got a tricky lock where the lever, the same goes for the CT12s, they like to do it in those, the back lever is really high and that stops you compressing when you're hand picking, then it could be ideal for that. However, to get this lock open with the pin and cam, just because of the process of the pin and cam, it's going to take you 10 minutes or so to go through and get everything right to get the lock open. Whereas hand picking, well, a couple of minutes, if that. It's a very, very simple lock to open. As Brian said in his videos, only levers 1 and 6 have anti-pick. So if you do land in anti-pick, which you pretty rarely don't, pretty rarely that you do land in anti-pick, should I say, it's only going to take you a couple of minutes to pick this open. So there is that. I'll put a quick video here of that. Then we have the CT12 type locks. So these are the harder locks to pick and the more common one that you're going to come across. So get practicing on these if you're going to do it. These are out of my training box. I do training courses on hand picking these locks quite effectively. And so that's key number 29. So I know where the keys are at. But this is the difficulty rating of this lock from 1 to 10, and it's at an 8. Now that's because the back lever is up way high, binding order's all off for it, you can't compress, etc, etc. That tool does a great job of getting this open. Again, you can hand pick it quicker, so long as you are used to the lock and you've practiced with it beforehand. Otherwise, that's quite a valid option. So, yeah, something to think about. This up in the vise here is a slam lock with a latch. Effectively, it's a CT12. There are much easier ways to open these than picking them. But as you'll see, I'll put a little clip here. I had to go anyway, and it just wasn't quite pulling the bolt back enough. Okay, it's got to be close. And I can see the first couple of levers here, but oh, there was a jump there on our newly moved 2. 4 did it as well. Oh, okay, there we go. Aha. Well, I just slipped out of the bolt there. We're not fully retracted. It's only halfway across the slot. Let me just turn this a little bit. Might be enough to get whatever it is you're trying to open, but that's as far as it's going to open. We've gone all the way around there. Interesting. Let's try that again real quick. I mean, it did. There's that too there. It did the job. It got the lock open. There we go. It's just getting to there, and then it's not quite long enough. Oh well. Interesting. Okay, so all in all, really, great little bit of kit as an addition to your hand picking. Maybe you're just not all about the hand picking and it's not something for you. You're not getting to grips with it, but you are used to using pin and cams in mortise locks and things like that. So that's where that's going to be transferable. If you struggle with the pin and cams in the 5 levers, I would suggest that this might not be the tool for you, because obviously there's now 7 levers, and you may notice as well, I've only really spoken about gun cabinet locks and plate safe, because that's pretty much all you're going to manage with this. It's even this collar bit here is too wide to get you into an actual safe of any kind, which safes do use these locks, but you're not going to be able to use this tool in one of those, unfortunately. Unless it's a plate safe. Just won't fit, unfortunately. There we go. Take from that what you will, and it's been a waffling on video, I'm sorry, but I was quite excited to get this, and I do like it. I'm going to continue using it, and hopefully you can judge from that and whether it's a valid tool for you or not. But well done, G. Very good, very well made tool. I hope to see some makeup keys coming out. That would just sort of complete the package if you had a makeup key in there as well. Thanks for watching, everybody. Okay, move that second pin down one. So hopefully it's not as tight. Go through again. 1, 2, we'll lift this time. 3, 4 movement, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Okay. Well, obviously it's open, but we're not getting a full retract. Maybe rounding out the corners on this might be the idea for that. Okay, something to look out for. If you had 2, you wouldn't, even though it's not a key retaining lock, you're still not going to be able to open them both. I believe this is a CT12. Interesting. I've opened other CT12s that didn't have that problem, so it's another thing to look out for. Maybe just rounding the corners off here. That's going to stop that from happening. I'll let you know if I decide to do that.